3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for.
You know, as it stands, there are no pre-made nootropic stacks that mimic Afanels. There just aren't, right? There are nootropic stacks that try to work on focus and verbal fluency and working memory and these sorts of things. But there are no pre-made nootropic stacks that are like, look, we wanted to actually build a stack that was functional in all these areas, like verbal fluency, focus, all this other stuff, but we want to make it similar to modafinil. We did that with the Cortex stack. You know, that was the thing that our beta tester wanted. We're like, what do you want out of a stack? You know, and basically uniformly, they were all like, make us a natural stack that's like modafinil. That's what we want. You know, we don't want to have to keep trying to procure modafinil in weird ways and whatever, and try to get our doctors to prescribe it to us. We just want to be able to take a natural stack that really cranks the brain up, really promotes wakefulness, but also improves functional areas of the brain by working on the neurochemistry involved in a lot of things. Inhibiting GABA, so you got a stimulatory effect, right? Facilitating dopaminergic functionality by optimizing dopamine receptors. Raising and improving the sort of profile at the time of epinephrine and norepinephrine, increasing acetylcholine, working on phospholipid synthesis like phosphatidylcholine, and you know, ultimately, hopefully in combination, working on something that targets neurogenesis, which uridine and a choline source do. So we put all of that together in the Cortex stack. This is, in my opinion, one of the best functional nootropic stacks out there, because a lot of nootropic stacks are sort of just stimulatory, and that's great. But functional nootropic stack is important. This is where you're targeting different areas of the brain to really make it function better, and where you've got something like, I don't know, let's take inorastam, for example. It's working on one of the glutamate receptors, AMPA, in a stimulatory fashion by modulating the receptor site. And so that's good. You know, it's like allosteric modulation of the receptor, and it gives you a stimulatory effect. It also works on acetylcholine release, and I'm quite sure inorastam improves blood flow in the brain. But as far as we can tell, that's basically it. You know, the ingredients in the Cortex stack, uridine and CDP choline particularly, but also artichoke extract at a small capacity, working on, at least if the theory is correct, inherited via CILTEP PDE4 inhibition. We are working on a lot of neurotransmitters at the same time. And this is really why we get such profoundly positive reviews about the stack. That people take it and they're like, dude, I was wired in for 9 hours. What do you got in here? Okay, so secure a bottle of the Cortex stack at livecortex.com. I think you're going to like it if you respond well to it. livecortex.com to snag a bottle of what's being called the only pre-made nootropic stack that works. We made it not to be subtle. livecortex.com. Don't wait. Secure a bottle today. Okay, so there's a company called Lavelle that is out there making this product called Thrive. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's like patches, different patches you put on your arm. You put patches on your arm and or your chest or somewhere. Some people put them on their legs, I guess. I don't know. And these patches are sending a bunch of nutrients to the bloodstream, and you know, obviously, perhaps crossing the blood-brain barrier and affecting brain performance. Looking at the ingredients of the Thrive patch, well, there's different sort of levels of them, but some, you know, a lot of them are effectively B vitamins, selenium, iodine, pretty important, and then they've got like green tea extract, absolutely some caffeine. There's some theobromine in there. So they just, you know, stuffed a bunch of nervous system stimulants in there with B vitamin, you know, with vitamins that affect brain function and neurotransmitter synthesis, as well as minerals that affect thyroid gland and energy production output. So I think you have to ask the question, well, and look, people get pretty good results with that Thrive patch. I know people in my family that use it, and they swear by it. And it works, it does work. So props to them, and props to, you know, they're like doing very well. It's an MLM kind of thing, and so me being an entrepreneur, a traditional entrepreneur, I really hate multi-level marketing. I just think it's sort of weird. But the company's doing well, and the product actually does work. So So you have to ask the question, why though? And the answer is because you're working on giving the body B vitamins, which the brain really, really needs for the synthesis of neurochemicals and for just the general functioning of the brain. Very, very important B vitamins. A constant infusion is pretty critical. But then again, yes, it's a nervous system stimulant. There's theobromine in there, part of the xanthine class, similar to caffeine, a little different, still central nervous system stimulant. You've got caffeine in there. Green tea extract. There's a few other things that are stimulating. But then I think what really solidifies it all is the iodine and the selenium. For me, I have recognized an iodine deficiency in myself over the course of the last 6 months. Taking iodine sometimes for me is like, I don't need any nootropics. B vitamins, selenium, iodine. One of the best nootropics there is in getting, and caffeine, right? Coffee, B vitamins, selenium, iodine. Pretty powerful. I think folks in this whole like brain-centric nootropics community, people think like that it's all about the brain, and it is all about the brain, because ultimately that's what's going on. But we have to think about what in the body is producing substrates or producing energy or facilitating the functioning of the brain. And if there's one thing that really is the answer to that question, it is the thyroid gland. It is absolutely the thyroid gland. So this is why I think Thrive works so well. B vitamins for neurochemical synthesis, selenium and iodine for the thyroid gland to create energy so that you feel that good, solid, energized state, because your thyroid's able to use the iodine to produce more thyroid hormone. And it's regulating your metabolism and regulating your energy and giving you what you need to function and to produce output. And then you've got the nervous system stimulants in there. And so what I would say to people, I'm not trying to promote Thrive, I have no affiliation with them, but it is interesting to me because all this stuff's interesting to me. And I take iodine, and I definitely notice functioning better taking Lugol's iodine, particularly, but I think you could sort of take kelp or anything else that will render iodine in your body. For some people, it might not be great. You want to talk to your doctor. For people with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, it may not be the greatest idea. There's also people that talk about having Hashimoto's thyroiditis that take iodine and it cures them. So, who knows? Approach biohackerly. But I would absolutely say for some people, and I've actually run into this with customers that I'm consulting on brain performance. We've got a $5,000 CEO, executive, corporate, really anyone who could pay that, but who wants really, really good brain function, is really having trouble with it. Package where we consult them, we formulate supplements for them for their brain to work better, and we get quantifiable improvements in brain function. They love us because of it. A few of those we had to get them to start taking iodine and selenium to improve their thyroid function so that they could recognize the nootropics that we were giving them. And then it worked. We talked about that recently in the why nootropics aren't working in disease states, and a particular case where we dealt with a person who had a thyroid issue, started resolving it, and they started noticing the nootropics. So I would just say for people, considering those mechanisms that we talked about, the thyroid gland, synthesis, neurotransmitters, neurochemistry as it relates to B vitamins, and then central nervous stimulants like caffeine and theobromine, if you take something similar to what's in this Thrive product, you're going to get a nootropic benefit. You could put that stuff together. It's not that hard. A B vitamin, an iodine supplement, some selenium, and drink some coffee and eat a little bit of chocolate. And then you've got the caffeine and the theobromine. And that's a pretty powerful, it's hard to call nootropic stack because we're not really talking about functional benefits, working memory, and these things. But I think because of the mental energy, and absolutely with the B vitamins in there, you do as a byproduct have working memory. So that's basically just the point of the video. It's not just about things that get converted to neurochemicals necessarily or exclusively. You really want to look at the main energy production and ATP and mitochondrial sort of functionality of the body, which really does originate in the thyroid gland. And start looking at the thyroid gland for some people, pretty conclusive studies talk about bromide and other chemicals in the water supply which bind to something in your body which prevents iodine uptake. It's not a conspiracy theory, it really does happen. So if folks are out there with iodine deficiencies and they're not having mental energy, that's probably something you want to look at, absolutely. right? Alongside the notion of how can you optimize your baseline first to really respond well to nootropics, and then take nootropics a little bit, or sort of low dose, medium dose nootropics to get that extra boost above baseline. But ultimately, it's not just about neurochemicals and what you can do to put precursors to neurochemicals and to modulate receptor sites. It's about the thyroid gland and a bunch of other things. Thanks for watching.